60 Minutes Rewind.
Stories of Exodus mark a central theme in human history. War, famine, crippling poverty, all have forced people to flee one country for another. But there's a growing reason for leaving home and homeland. In more than 70 countries worldwide, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, or LGBT citizens, live in fear for their freedom, their safety, and in some cases, their lives. Their governments not only sanction brutality against them, but often carry it out. There is no obvious or easy escape path, but for those lucky enough to hitch a ride, there is something called the Rainbow Railroad. Like the Underground Railroad, the Rainbow Railroad helps those fleeing danger get across borders to safety. And like its historical namesake, this network shrouds its operations in secrecy. But over a recent 6-month period, we got a look at how the Rainbow Railroad works. We met escapees from 3 continents, and were on hand for a series of departures and arrivals. Last June, on the first day of summer, Abanoob Elias left his old life in Egypt and arrived a refugee at Toronto's Pearson International Airport.
You made it. How are you feeling?
Yeah, nice.
Rainbow Railroad staff was there to greet him, and on the ride into town, Abanoob took it all in. New country, new landmarks. First stop, a familiar face. This reunion was 9 months in the making. Abanoob and Ahmed Allah, 2 friends in their 20s, first met in Cairo on September 22, 2017. The occasion, a concert by Mashrua Leila, a Lebanese band popular throughout the Middle East, whose lead singer is openly gay. Caught up in the music and the moment, Abanoob did the unthinkable for a gay Egyptian. He raised the rainbow flag, a symbol of gay pride. Ahmed spotted this bold stranger in the crowd of 35,000 and says he was inspired.
He can do it, so I can do it too.
This was unthinkable to you before the concert.
So when I saw Abanoob, okay, I can do it.
The 2 waved the flag together. You said it was the best 5 minutes of your life.
Yeah, it was the best 5 minutes of my life. In a bad situation in Egypt, you can talk about anything. Now you are raising the flag. You are talking about LGBT rights. Oh my God, you can't talk about that in Egypt, in a public area?
In Egypt, just being openly gay can bring trouble. Human Rights Watch says 300 LGBT citizens have been detained under the country's debauchery laws in the last 5 years. Hours after the concert, Egyptian media denounced the flag raising, and security forces took the opportunity to crack down on Cairo's LGBT community, arresting dozens. Panicked, Ahmed posted this video to social media to get his story on the record. It's clear to me that I am wanted by the police, he said. He was arrested days later for, quote, promoting immorality. Police also questioned him about a woman named Farida. They're interrogating you, and they know about Farida.
Yeah, the first name, asked me the first name, was Farida.
Farida Abaouf, a trans woman and well-known LGBT rights worker in Cairo, got word police were asking about her and knew she had to leave Egypt. She took this video the night she escaped. She says she couldn't risk being recognized along the way, so she cut her hair and took shots of testosterone to look more masculine again. Farida told us she almost didn't make it past Cairo's airport officials, who pulled her aside for questioning.
He looked to me like he knows something, but he didn't tell me.
Do you think the guard knew something was up?
Yeah, he looked to my eyes, eye contact, big eye contact. It's like I know everything.
Farida made it to Canada, where Rainbow Railroad staff was waiting for her, having learned about her situation from their network in Egypt. They got her settled in Toronto, where she told them about Abanoob, who'd gone into hiding outside Cairo, and Ahmed, who was serving 3 months in solitary confinement.
I was crying a lot. I told them, please help my friends. Please, they are in jail. Can you please help them?
But you're connecting your friends in Egypt with Rainbow Railroad once you're here.
Yeah.
Founded in 2006 and based in Toronto, Rainbow Railroad has evacuated more than 600 LGBT individuals from 22 hostile countries. The small, unassuming operation fielded more than 1,000 requests for help last year and says that number will increase this year.
Yeah, I would need from Cairo to Toronto.
Referrals come from an international network of LGBT groups and safe houses. Then Rainbow Railroad secures visas and pays for flights to safety. All of it funded not by any government, but with private donations of cash and also airline miles. Executive Director Kimahli Powell reviews each case. What do they all have in common?
The majority of people that we help have told harrowing stories of being hunted down, of being excommunicated by their churches, their families, their communities. And so they've come to us really desperate.
This isn't cultural homophobia. This is police, courts, legislators.
We've heard stories of an individual who had a mob go to their house, burn it down, and when they flee to go see the police say that we cannot help you because you are gay. And
the police sanctions the mob.
The police sanctions the mob. Sometimes the police are active perpetrators of this violence.
He's talking about an incident that took place in Jamaica, one of 70 countries worldwide where same-sex relations are a crime. In 7 of these countries, punishable by death. The United Nations says global gains in LGBT rights, including marriage equality, have been met with backlash in many parts of the world. Perhaps most brutally in the Russian Republic of Chechnya. Its leader has publicly denied the very existence of gay citizens. In April 2017, reports surfaced of authorities there rounding up, torturing, and killing queer Chechens. Usman, not his real name, survived this purge. He asked us to conceal his identity, fearing for the safety of his family back home. He recalls the day men in military uniform came for him at his work, took him to an abandoned warehouse, and tortured him with electric shocks.
They
tied my hands behind my back and they beat me. They kept asking me for names and phone numbers.
Names and numbers of whom?
Gay парней, которых я знаю.
Gay men I knew, but I didn't give them anybody's name.
Even under torture.
Я очень горд.
Yes, I'm very proud of that.
After 2 weeks, Usman was released, and a friend helped get him to a safe house in Russia. There, he heard about a means to escape.
Радужные дороги.
Rainbow Railroad.
That's how you heard it the first time. In their largest operation to date, Rainbow Railroad worked with Canada's foreign ministry to evacuate 42 Chechens, including Usman, and find them asylum in Canada. A few months later, Powell and Usman went to the U.S. State Department to plead for visas for LGBT Chechens still trying to get out. But this is a tough time to be seeking asylum in America, no longer a busy stop on the Rainbow Railroad. Spain, the Netherlands, and Canada are among the most popular destinations. The Chechen operation put Rainbow Railroad on the map. Donations more than tripled, making it possible for staff to venture to half a dozen LGBT-hostile countries and assess the need in person.
The story will continue after this.
We went with Kimahli Powell to Jamaica, well known for its beaches, less so for its homophobia.
Let me tell you what we can do.
Rainbow Railroad gets more requests for safe passage from here than from anywhere else.
This is a gully, unfortunately, like a sewage drain area where members of the LGBTQI community sleep.
But it smells like a sewer system. Under the streets of Kingston, Powell took us to see a potential Rainbow Railroad client named Blue. His fear of being attacked because he is gay is so intense, Blue goes underground, quite literally, for refuge overnight. You have this place to yourself?
This is my house.
This is your house. He told us he sleeps on cardboard boxes, and when the rain comes through the storm drain, he moves to higher ground.
If I was not gay, I wouldn't be here because I'd be at home. But because of my lifestyle and they found out about me, that's why I'm here, right?
Even Powell was taken aback by these conditions. Have you seen this in other countries?
Nothing quite like this. Once you're labeled LGBT, it's almost like a scarlet letter. Like you walk around and someone can attack you at any moment.
The threat of attack drives some gay Jamaicans to this remote hillside town, where our cameras were allowed into this safe house. Many of its residents will be referred to Powell, who went over the most urgent cases with house staff.
The problem is getting to the hospital, right, as well?
One resident told us he was stabbed 15 times. Another said she was doused with acid in an anti-gay attack. This is where they wait, for wounds to heal and visas to come through. Across the island, the wait is over for Elton McDuffis, whose work with the local LGBT rights group made him a target. He told us he survived a knife attack and an attempted break into his apartment as assailants shouted anti-gay slurs.
After that, you said, I gotta get out.
I gotta leave, yeah.
He installed extra locks on the door and contacted Rainbow Railroad. He didn't tell his mother he was about to leave for good.
Like, I don't want my mommy to worry, I don't want my family to worry, so I try to keep them out of this process.
So what have you told them? I'll see you when I see you?
Yeah. Well, I told her, you're not going to see me for a long time.
Nervous?
Very.
Why?
Because I'm stepping into the unknown. The only thing I can say is I'm told that I'll be okay. I'll be in a better place, yeah.
You've called a worldwide exile of the LGBT community, the civil rights issue of our era. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that we spent many years in North America saying that marriage equality was the most important marker for the advancement of LGBT people. What we haven't done is talk about thousands of displaced people who are victims of state-sponsored violence only because of who they love.
This is your new town.
Yeah.
4 weeks after we watched him leave Jamaica, Elton McDuffis had found a taste of home in Toronto and told us he was no longer living in fear.
Whole neighborhood with pride flags and gay bookstores. What's it like when you walk around there?
Like I said to my friend, we were walking on Church Street and there were a lot of gay couples walking and holding hands, and I said, I think we should hold hands. And
You said we should hold hands.
Yeah, and we did, and nobody cared, nobody looked, and that was beautiful.
The Egyptians, too, are making the most of their newfound freedom. Toronto's Pride Parade last summer was a highlight. Rainbow Railroad helped cover living expenses until the asylum claims were decided. Ahmed got his papers in March. Abanoob's came through last month. On this night in September, they were reminded of how far they've come. Mashrua Leila, the band whose concert sparked the LGBT crackdown in Cairo, was in Toronto to play a show and wanted to meet the Egyptian exiles. And when the music played, Abanoob and Ahmed stood together, just as they had in Cairo a year before.
When I was in the jail, I know that I will be able to hear this music again. I raised the flag again with Abanoob. It was an amazing moment for me. I can do what I want now. I'm safe.
You're safe.
Yeah, I'm safe.